Looks like they're going to pick the Visage.
So they
Ooh.
still keep it open, but they
Yeah.
have the next pick as well.
It's
I'm
actually so
assuming this.
funny.
I'm assuming this Visage will
Every
go mid.
every single one of these picks is technically a flex pick if you really wanna look
Yep.
at it that way. Very cool.
You'll see that pattern in Secrets drafts a lot if you look through the
10
recent
seconds to
games.
go.
This is not unusual for this team anymore to be in
5
this spot.
seconds.
I think the Visage is also they play it on both Nisha and Matu, but I think they've also played it on Zai. So technically, they could be all three core positions, and you can play Visage 5 and 4 too if you have the strategy. So you can play all the roles. But at this point, you're probably putting it core, and you're last picking another core that wants to play Visage's type of let's group up and push towers and get Roshan games or something like Lone
Mhm.
Druid, Jugger. Once again, I really like the idea of something like Jugger or Lifestealer here. Just think it rounds things off very nicely. Good Infest Friend in Pango and Clockwork. Looks pretty stable to me. But obviously there's like what else do they have for their players? They have some sort of Matu specialty here. Ursa is in the pool. Decent. He's good against Luna. He's actually surprisingly good against Bat, as we've seen lately. So maybe
Status
Ursa is on their
resist?
minds.
Hmm. Okay.
Um, Bat is generally considered an Ursa counter. I've just seen Ursa do well in lane with the new skill build where you max the Earth Shock, and if you have a lane partner that has a bit of pressure, you honestly just shove into this Bat and pressure him early on. Don't let him play. Um, it's been looking pretty good. It's still a lane Batrider can win, especially if he has the right help, but it's not as doesn't seem as stupidly Batrider favorite as
Dyer's
it did
ban.
a couple months ago. Oh, they banned the Lifestealer.
Mhm.
Okay, so
That's one gone. So you
that's
said
good again,
Juggernaut is
actually.
your other hopeful pick.
Yeah, I would love to see it. I just don't know if these teams rate Jugger for anything right now. Obviously, barely gets picked ever, but this is a very good Juggernaut game for sure. Can secure in lane very easily with Enchantress. Their side lane of Clock Pango will actually fare all right
10
here, I
seconds to
think,
go.
against, say, Witch Doctor Luna
How's
or Shaker Luna.
5
how's
seconds.
Troll?
Yeah, also fine. Fits with Visage.
Dyer's
It's
pick.
again, it's another hero against Batrider where you would be like, oh, that's not good for Troll, but it's Troll Ench. It's like a god tier lane. I don't think Batrider will likely win that lane with a Shaker. I think it
Mhm.
needs more
Well,
help.
good news for bait is they do technically get the last pick. So with the Bat Rider being either off lane or mid, you can change that accordingly uh,
Yeah.
to what Secret actually picks.
10 seconds to
Yep.
go.
They do have plenty of reserve time as well. I mean, the cool thing about doing all these
5
flex picks
seconds.
is if they don't deal with one of your picks, like the Pango or Ench or something to that degree, you switch that up and you pick a support here, in theory. But I don't think that's going to happen
I
because,
think in theory they already
uh,
have 4 heroes that they can play support, so I don't think they need any more supports. They can swap the
well,
other
I
pieces
meant,
around.
yeah, I just meant the theory behind picking the flex picks, right?
Yeah, yeah.
They have to address the picks one by one, or else it can
Radiant's
turn on them
pick.
for sure. And it
Carry
will
a
be an
battle.
avenue. So yeah, this
Maybe.
is something they picked recently. Let me see exactly how they played it against Nigma, I believe.
Actually, insane pick here.
Um,
It's super good. I wasn't
yeah,
considering it because it's not,
Matu.
a traditional carry, but it really fits the bill for this game for the same reason. Hits the timing with Visage, has a way of dealing with Bat in lane, and can run up and
10
be
seconds to
up close and
go.
personal with Luna, which she hates. So I really like this pick.
Technically,
I
not
think
only
it's
good in
5
lane, but
seconds.
Aphotic Shield against Lasso in general. Not
yep.
that I mean he's the core, but still. He picked up a
Yeah.
Helm Radiance in the last game that they did
Okay.
lose, but we'll see if that ends up being the case again.
I think this is a better pick than Jugger, actually. I think it's really, really good. So nicely done.
All right, and bait with the final pick. Ember is still in the pool. I don't know if it's good here necessarily.
Mm,
I would say it's good against Pango at the very least, but
yeah.
surprised that it's actually untouched thus far, considering both teams, pretty much every team plays the crap out of the hero. It'll be a Storm
Let's get
Spirit though,
something.
so Dendy Storm Spirit.
Time to pick
Yeah,
some of
Secret
these
are a bit low
folks.
on stuns. I can see it. Like, they have Hook Shot and they have Rolling Thunder, but that's it. So it's a very free movement Storm game. The dangerous thing, obviously, playing into a lineup of this kind from Secret is a lot of the time Storm Spirit doesn't really handle playing into hard sustain very well. Like, if he doesn't find kills in his first half of the mana pool, he kind of runs out of juice and has to go back to base. Unless he's very farmed. But if Storm gets very farmed, then Secret have kind of missed the timing of their lineup that they're looking for, right? So it's under the circumstance that they don't execute. Secret's lineup wants to win this game at like minute 20, I think. It's like insanely strong at minute 20 when they hit all their auras, get a Roche maybe,
10 seconds to go.
and go down a lane. And can Storm Spirit deal with that? If there's like, say, a pipe,
5
a Badens saves, Ench heal, maybe a mech, Vlad's, could be tough.
If they had a Weaver Ags, maybe. That was quite broken, if I do say so myself. But yeah, you're right. Storm is a little slow to ramp up sometimes. Luna, in the meantime, we've seen, I think it was actually maybe bait we were casting, where Luna was getting a lot of farm, but it just cost everybody else their life. Like, she was just a one-man army, essentially, which just wasn't enough because everybody else just could not keep up. But they do have a pretty active lineup, so we'll see.
And if bait get there, they're in pretty good shape in this game. You can definitely see how they win this game. I would say it's still mainly later on that they truly win. But if they can stay afloat and get through the dangerous mid game, I see them have a very good chance of winning this game after, say, 30 minutes. But they need to really weather the storm here and make sure. If I could pick 2 heroes in their lineup that need to have a really good start, it's probably Bat and Storm. If they can somehow enable both those heroes, even if it costs Luna a bit, it's probably going to pay off. Because, yeah, let's say you give Luna a good game and then she starts jungling, as per usual. She can't. I don't know if they can buy enough time for her to reach the point where she wins the game. But the other way around, if Bat and Storm have good games, they can find kills, and that can buy time for Luna to come back. So I think that's what they should probably be looking at, if possible.
All right, well,
let's see how
I know this is difficult to do because there's one team that we both favor, but whose lineup and lineup alone do you like more?
Better get
if
ready.
These two, like just in the lineup in isolation or the lineups versing each other with no team names?
Versus each other. Yes, no team names.
I think I like the Dire lineup more. Under the assumption that both teams are equally good, which is what they are if you don't have names, right? Then I think the Dire lineup will win more than 50% of the time at this skill bracket.
All right.
In a competitive game. So, but let's see. Obviously, the fact that it's Secret versus Bait skews it way more in that favor.
Yes, I would say so. It becomes 51% then, right?
Yes. Exactly.
Now, the opposing outposts are both being captured for each respective team. And we'll see what the final lanes end up being as we are approaching the sub 30-second mark. So it is Nisha playing the Visage. Do you like Visage or Visage? Or do you switch it up to keep Always.
Visage sounds French, which is how you say it in French. And what English does to all the French words that they take in is that they bastardize all of them and say them in an English way. So why should this be any different?
Like coup de grace? Coup de grace?
Coup de grace.
I can't say ra. That's a hard one.
Coup de grace.
Coup de grace. Grace. Loy.
Could you hear my dog?
We'll get there one day. No.
Oh, you just said it right after he barked. I was like, wow.
Really?
Yeah, that was insane timing.
I have dog hearing, syndereN. It's really good. Yapzor in the bottom lane is actually blocking these creeps, as Witch Doctor for Bait will be trying to do the same. He's going to take a little bit of damage as a result, though. Matu with the Curse of Avernus already leveled, and he's going to do heavy damage as a result of this. God damn, that's pretty nice. It is a tri-lane for now for Secret. Obviously, Enchantress will be in and out, but it's going to be Yapzor Clockwork with Matu's Abaddon.
Abaddon.
No. Don't you say it. Don't you say it.
So, basically what the outcome of this should be is that Bait get their 2 cores that I think they should give a really good game to start. They don't have to stay with them forever. Just make sure that they get enabled. Both of those have a good start. Storm against Visage is a good lane for Storm in the beginning. And Bat versus Pango, with even a Shaker helping out, should be extremely easy for last hero. I honestly think 5-up can even move right now. Either try to kill mid, or go and assist bottom if they feel like there's any purpose in that. But for now, he is sticking around top. Maybe they'll try a kill here with Firefly, but Zai made sure to get rid of the stacks. And he's finding his level 2 now, which is also going to help him have a secondary way of dealing with the bat through the slow. But they're going to try here.
Yeah, they're going to try 4 stacks of sticky napalm. Their fissure incoming. I don't even know if he needs it. Swashbuckle into the other side of the trees. Okay. They still see him. Can he continue to chase? Pops the mango. That's 7 charges now. Puppy continues his rampage on couriers. But the first blood goes to last hero on the Batrider.
Now he's level 3 and Pango is level 2.5. Pango will get a stick though and return to top or a full wand. Bottom lane, Yapsor. Okay, no battery assault or they would have gone there.
So I'm going to go out on a limb here and say Puppy will not get as many courier kills as yesterday, playing the Enchantress instead of the Weaver. I actually forgot to look up the stat, if that even exists, of how many he killed. I'd be interested to know what the record is, because that has to be close. I'd be shocked.
Oh, Luna's in trouble bottom.
Oh,
He's in
the
big
cast is
trouble.
coming to help him out. Yeah, but Chrysalis, only
TP.
level 1 right now. Yeah, he's going to TP back to the tier 1, I assume, and will be successful. I mean, the Witch
If
Doctor
he dies
is
there after
out-leveling him.
TPing, that is terrible. So
Yeah.
at the very least, he got out. But he's getting bullied, right? It's no surprise that Luna is losing this lane really hard. Don't know if Shaker, once again, if he's outstaying
Top
his
lane, by the
his
way.
necessities.
Zai, he already used his Swashbuckle. Matu actually TPs here. He gets the Aphotic Shield. They're going to try to turn this around to the Batrider, and they do successfully. Not
That's
every day you see a
really good play
position
call.
1 Abaddon TP to help.
That's a super good play call. Because what happens now is, let's say Bat respawns. He has 2 choices. He can go top, in which case he's laning against a Baton who doesn't care, so he's just gonna farm. Or he can TP bottom, but then Luna can't TP since she just TP'd away from the kill attempt bot.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's like, this is really, really smart from Seeker right now. It's like, there's no good play right now for Bat. He needs to run bottom instead of TPing, so he has the TP option later. And that means he's not getting anything for like 30 seconds. And in the meantime, everyone on Secret is getting stuff out of their lanes, so this is really, really good stuff.
So does that mean Luna will switch lanes as well to the top once the TP's back up?
Yeah, but it's dangerous, right? Then she's playing in the off lane against an overleveled Abaddon who can get help from any of the supports, and then she has nowhere to run to.
I think we're going to see a kill mid lane.
Yep.
Dendy getting a gank here from his old teammate Puppy with that Mud Golem. It's actually about to expire, but when it expires, 2 little babies come out and they destroy you. That's exactly what happens here.
Yep.
So looking at the mid lane, 21-6 CS versus the Visage 11-6. So Dendy's actually winning this lane pretty handily, as you kind of were expecting. But that gank will certainly help.
Yeah, and they even TP'd in Witch Doctor to try to help, and he failed. So this leaves other lanes more susceptible now. You know, Fishman can't rotate for a minute. Looking at Puppy here.
Ooh, top lane. Swashbuckle with the Aphotic Shield applied. They don't want to do too much damage because it might kill Chrysalis, and it does with that fissure. Dooms his teammate, and he looks to be next on the list. Oh, but Fishman is here. Zai taking extremely heavy damage, but it's not going to matter. Does finally go down, but it's a 2-for-1. Matu. Okay. He dies under the tower with the Maledict applied as well.
Interesting.
It is 2 levels. A nice fairy fire keeping Fishman alive. Yep. But Dendy comes in, and it looks like Puppy... Actually, Storm is not level 6 yet, so they do need a cast.
Vortex, so yeah, they can't get him.
Yeah, Puppy's fine. Very fast hero. It looks like Clockwork takes a spell. Right. They won't be able to chase the Enchantress any further, it looks like.
Last hero might need help here. Zai has... Oh, he doesn't have boots. Okay. Because he has the Orb of Venom, so if he had boots as well, he would just keep running at Bat. But like this... Oh, well, who needs help from who?
Yeah, he might be able to turn this around now. That's 5 stacks. Swashbuckle is coming back. It is up to... Only level 2 right now, though. So... He'll get away to safety. But such a... For a hero, even though he has an escape mechanism, it's such a hard hero to go against in the Batrider. Sticky Napalm just completely ruins him. But there is support in the way of the position 1 Abaddon again on the way. Matu looking for this potential kill. Last year is already Fireflied. Swashbuckle will connect. Aphotic Shield applied to Zai. Looks like he's going to go all in for this. Looks like they'll find it. Will he burn? Nope. He shall survive again. Getting out with little HP and get the Batrider.
And in the meantime, pressure's mounting in the mid lane. Puppy and Nisha. Dendy needs 1 CS for level 6. There's no creeps dying. Oh no.
The familiar did die, but it wasn't no experience, I don't think. And Storm.
Oh my
He
god!
gets down
Oh,
twice.
he gets 6 as he gets knocked back by the cog
That
for the
is
kill.
really unfortunate. Now Fishman might be next on the list here, and indeed he is. So a 2 for nothing as Yapzor lives on another hero for Secret, just living with a sliver of HP. And Matu
And
is
even
mid
has
now.
Tranks.
The Dire winning
Even has
back.
Tranks
He
and
doesn't wanna
clock,
farm.
so he can stick around. He doesn't need to go base and full reset.
Dire might want to mine
I
the
think,
top tower.
in my mind, this is probably the single best position for in the game to get this item on almost always as your first item. Tranquils on clock and any mana item is just so good. You just keep putting that pressure.
Matu
will get killed here.
My goodness.
Went too deep, and they
That is
rotated a lot of
aggressive.
heroes. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. If he was level, even if he was level 6, I don't think so. But Luna in the top lane, my goodness, kills all over the place. Fishman does have his cask,
This
and the Maledict is applied.
Oh, he got
he's
6
gonna
on
use
the
his
wave.
ult. And let's see if he tries to TP. It doesn't have a TP on him right now, but the Maledict looks like it's going to run out just in time. Very little HP. He just goes down to the right click. Visage also died in the bottom river, syndereN.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm still recovering from this icon. That was great. He had every opportunity to just roll away, but he thought maybe he'd get one more bounce on Fishman and then kill him with Swashbuckle.
Yeah.
And got a clip on the front
Agreed.
page of Reddit, but not the case.
Yeah. Well, right now, Dendy is top of the net worth in terms of
Something bad's happened
his
to the
overall
Radiant's
farm
courier.
right now. Is Puppy again with a courier kill?
He did give away a ward there, though. Last year, I immediately pinged it. There's no way he attacks that from that angle without having lane vision. So he traded a courier for a ward. It's not really that good. It's like all right, I would say.
Missing middle.
Yeah,
It's not that good, syndereN.
it's not that good.
Not worth.
It's like somewhat
Well-
even. Like it's really hard to say, right?
Yeah, 5-Up was taking a little bit of harassment damage in the mid lane. He's trying to give high 5 to Nisha, which he is not reciprocating right now. Very rude. Got to talk to Cyborg Matt about the manners of his players here. Need to have better sportsmanship. Top lane. Zai was getting pressured a little bit, but has all his spells basically available at his disposal right now. How fast does Bait want to play in terms of pushing towers? You're against
Trouble
Secret,
brewing
which
in
I
Radiant's
assume will
bottom tower.
end up 5-manning here at some point. And Nisha's actually going for this tier 1 tower in mid lane. Dendy jumps in. Still doesn't have the electric vortex. And the familiars will not be able to finish up the tier 1, and it will be denied as a result. Top lane, Yapzor takes a spill. It ends up being a 1-for-1
No
between the
proc.
Clockwork and Batrider.
He doesn't have
Chrysalis, yeah, no-
TP on Luna. He started pushing this top tower together with just the Batrider and didn't have
Radiant's
TP.
bottom
That was
tower
so
is
easy
He
for Zai.
is quite fast.
Yeah, Fissure.
Swash is there, but here's the cast
nice
into
bait.
the fissure, into the death.
Bottom towers.
So Zai biting off a little bit too much there.
And Bait might be able to get an outpost here. Or protect it, rather. Puppy.
Oh, yep, Puppy is going to have to cancel. And he's going to be chased, at least to a degree. They're going to turn this around, though. And, well, Witch Doctor takes a tumble as a result. But it's a 1-for-1 in terms of the outposts themselves. So, even Steven. Matu right now has the phase boots. I was mentioning the game they played yesterday. He went Helm into Radiance. Do you expect something similar or just go straight Radiance, maybe? Or neither?
Yeah, there's even a possibility of just going some sort of aura style here with Vlad's first item, because you have Visage going Helm in the mid lane. So I don't think you want two of those.
Yeah, true.
Vlad's Radiance is fine. Vlad's Pipe is a possibility. It's a bit more all-in-ish. And they might not want to do that. They might want to scale better.
Puppy,
Top.
top lane. Yeah, we're going to see the roll from Zai. Puppy already has Maledict applied to him, and he just melts under the pressure. Fishman looks like he's going to be the trade inside the cogs right now. Zai, kind of stuck in a weird spot. Gets the swashbuckle off on Denny. I think that's going to break things up, most likely. And Matu is finally not TPing to help his team. He is actually farming as the position 1. And based on the fact that he's bought literally nothing, he hasn't queued anything up, so maybe he hasn't really decided. Perhaps if you get up to a certain point, you're like, okay, maybe I just go Radiance at this stage.
Yeah, it's possible. I think Radiance is fine. The timing with Visage, I think, gets a little bit different when you go Radiance. compared to if you went Vlad's plus another, say, medium cost item. Like, even Vlad's Solar Crest could actually also be really nice here, I think. Just like standard offlane Abaddon items on your carry Abaddon, and then the Pango. Okay, so Pango's getting Vlad's, so
Radiant's
that means
top
Matu's
tower's
definitely
in
not
bad
doing
shape.
that. Rush Solar. Don't know if he likes it. Maybe they want the Solar and this.
Oh,
Witch
hook
Doctor.
shot.
Radiant's top
Yep,
tower.
Fishman. He gets off the Maledict, but will die shortly after. Oh, looks like last hero's going to be next, so good execution here from Secret, as they will, in all likelihood, just group up with this Zoo to kill this tier 1.
Yep.
Radiant's top tower is in bad shape.
This is when their lineup really starts being terrifying to
One
play
less
against.
top
Visage has
tower
the
for
Dom,
Radiant.
probably looking for a Wolf at some point. Going Eggs for an extra familiar. They have the levels that they need on both Pango and Abaddon. So Abaddon is an insanely
Radiant's
impactful
top
hero,
tower
even
is
with
hurting.
limited farm, when he just has some key levels. It's like this mid-game timing of having high level of Aphotic Shield is just... It's such a crazy spell when you look at it. It's a 6-second hard dispel that blocks damage and deals damage. What an insane skill. Imagine if another hero had this spell.
Oh, I
That would
could have
be
these
crazy.
discussions forever. Last hero, he's going to scout out the Roshan. It's very low at this point. Hookshot comes in from
He's
Yapsor
dead.
into the Swashbuckle. And yeah, he will literally just die there. Cass comes in. Here
Oh,
comes
nice!
Dendi as well. He steals the Aegis. Beautifully done into an Echo Slam onto multiple heroes. Well, no follow-up after the fact, though, as Witch Doctor will die as well. A triple kill for Nisha. So Bait does take the Aegis, but at what cost, as some great people would say, Cinder. That is an ultra kill for Nisha.
That
Good
was such...
lord.
That was such a sexy steal. I feel like they actually could have got away with that with 0 deaths, or maybe 1. But they got
In hindsight, yes.
excited and went in with Shaker. He gets a good Echo off, but Storm used all his mana to steal the Aegis, so he couldn't combine with that Echo. And then Luna's just way too late to the party.
Radiant's
Like,
mid
you don't
tower's
run in
coming
and start
online.
eclipsing 1v4 like that. That's just, like, there's no potential there. He could have maybe traded 1 for 1, which is bad regardless. So, nice steal, but unfortunately for Bait, that they paid too much for that compared to what they could have. Oh,
We're gonna
Nisha
see a
might die
fissure
here.
on
Nice
Nisha
one.
into Flame Break. And not the greatest layering of stuns here, but it likely will not matter.
Lots of gold for Bat.
Yeah, that is a very, very good kill. Zai scouting things out, has his arcane boots right now, which I'm always disgusted to see on Pangolier. But that's okay. I can forgive him. Blink Dagger's actually almost online for the... Actually, it is. Ooh, he switches it up and just buys a 4-staff. Interesting. I don't know if I've ever seen that.
It's good against Clockwork, obviously, so that you
Yeah,
can,
for
if
sure.
you get hookshot, you have a way of getting into the fight. The problem with it is, when it comes to the surprise factor and taking fights, it's very few spots on the map that you can force staff into a good echo, right? Like, the enemy team will have half a second or a second to react, spread out, or get you targeted with something that can stop you when you go in, like pressing cogs, or getting a familiar drop ready, or whatever it is. So I've seen this on Shaker. I've seen it work sometimes against Clock, but most of the time it actually feels underwhelming. Like, you end up, yeah, you survive the Clock, but then you can't get that big echo that you really need. Oh,
Shot
hero's
bottom
dead
lane, by the
bottom.
way. Yeah, Bad Rider's done so. I mean, the reason I was more surprised is because he had the Blink queued up, and typically if you go for a 4-staff before Blink, it's because you can't really afford the Blink in one go. Like, they're basically the same cost, but the 4-staff comes in different components. So if you're dying a lot, you could just buy them as you go. But he had enough to buy it.
Dyer's top
So
tower,
very surprising. But we'll
you
see
know
how
the
that works
drill.
out for him.
No
But like you
breaking
said,
through the
Clockwork
Dire
Cogs.
structures for now.
I feel like that needs
Radiant's
to
bottom
change, by the way,
tower
for
ain't pretty
if
sad
Clockwork
right
ever
now.
becomes a god tier hero again. Easiest counter in the world. Oh, another
Dyer's
courier for
top
Puppy?
tower's
No.
getting beat down.
5 up on the cliff and dead. By the way, is it
5 up on
5
the
up or
cliff.
sup?
It's 5 up.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it is.
It could be the leet speak sup.
It's 5 up.
Nobody knows yet. Okay.
Trouble brewing at Radiant's bottom tower.
Matsu almost has his Radiance. What have we got coming for Bait? So Luna is now finishing a 16-minute Dom. It's not looking good for Crystallis. And while Dendi had a great start in the mid lane, his farm has definitely slowed down compared to the
Hookshot
others.
again.
Oh,
Bat
failed
Rider.
the Cog knockback, actually.
Yeah.
Uncharacteristic mistake from Yapsor. Could even cost him his life here.
And we'll see Eclipse now onto Puppey, but they're the familiars to tank up a lot of it. Looks like the Clockwork will die first. The rolling in from Zai looks like he's going to find the Witch Doctor. Might actually put Earthshaker on the other side of the cliff as well, but does find his way to the grave either way. Buyback onto the Witch Doctor now as the chase continues for Bait. Seeing the familiar slow things down as Dendi still has the Aegis, but really no mana right now.
He can't use it. Zai was basically 0.1 second from surviving that. The last... Or never mind. He wasn't. He was dead. My bad. He was not going to survive.
It goes through the thunder.
Yeah. I was like, wow, he just barely got touched by Maledict coming out of the ball. I was like, no, it works anyway, so whatever.
But
in another time, that would have been really close, but no, it's not.
Yes. I agree.
Still a great.
Because Maledict needed another buff, right?
Yeah.
Very good spell. And then they has the... What? It's the one Maledict tick at 20 and Maledict AoE at 15. That is so sexy. As a Witch Doctor extraordinaire, syndereN.
Yes.
Not really.
No.
All right, 5 up with his Force Staff. Good to go, Cinderman. Anything on Bait's side that they're really waiting for before they perhaps... I mean, they have the Aegis, so it feels like they want to use this, right? I don't think it's much of a hindrance right now from Secret side. It's not like they're waiting for it.
They just don't have Lasso and they don't have Eclipse. They used it in the bottom fight, so they don't feel confident that they can win a team fight, and I don't think they can either. So what are they waiting for? They're kind of waiting for Luna to keep catching up. It's just way too far behind. Like the lane stage went poorly, but they didn't recover well after.
There's the Force Staff, but Yapsor plays around it. Echo Slam to follow, though. Looks like the Clockwork will go down first. Matu, nice Death Ward cancel there as the borrow time goes off. So it'll be Fishman and the ES for Yapsor's Clock.
Yeah, gets the kill with the Fresh Radiance onto Shaker. Anisha feels super confident here going in. Oh, last year you don't want to be there. Gets caught in the
Rolling
birds.
Thunder. Batrider just keeps getting caught off guard over and over and over. It feels like he would have been better off with a Force Staff, to be perfectly honest, in a lot of these scenarios. But
yeah,
I mean,
probably.
Pretty much every bat has been going Boots of Travel first. It's just this is such early pressure from Secret. But again, based on the lineup, we were kind of expecting this, right?
But now he's going Crimson Guard because he feels like his team needs the tank ability against the Visage Familiars. I'm still with you, though. I think Force Staff would... In many ways, the type of fights that Bait should be looking to play don't really get solved by getting Crimson. I think having mobility and trying to split things up a little bit and play on your mobility with Shaker, Bat, and Storm is a better chance of winning than just picking up, let's just fight into them with Crimson Guard. I don't think you win that fight anyway. Like, that's not how you pick apart the Secret lineup, because they're strong together. So ideally you would split them up a little bit. Oh, good hook shot.
Swashbuckle into hook shot. Yapsor looks like he's going to find a kill. More than likely, no. Witch Doctor's living for now. They're going to turn this around potentially. Storm Spirit actually gets bounced up onto the cliff. They're going to get the lasso, but there's a borrowed time manually activated to dispel. Yeah, that was very weird. Storm Spirit trying to clear the wave. Maybe he forgot that he could activate it.
I mean, even if he couldn't, I still don't think Matu dies there regardless. Like, that was a 0% chance.
He saw somebody near him. He's like, I don't have any repositioning items, no mobility items, so I have to use this. And the first person I see. Shit, it's an Abaddon. It's okay, I'm using it anyway.
I mean, that's clearly the problem. He was probably a bit, like, frustrated, because if he gets anybody else nearby, he knows that doesn't work either. And there you go, that's just the matchup, right? You have no mobility item, so you have to... It's very telegraphed when you go to Lasso on Bat with this item build. Like, you just fly in, you find the target. Matu has like a second or two to adjust his position and just be either the guy caught or close to the guy who gets caught. And then suddenly Bat's play doesn't really exist.
And this is where the flexibility of Secret's lineup is just unbelievable. Like, if you... I don't want to backseat here, Sinner, because I'm only a Divine/Ancient player. But if Bait... we're going to see a hook shot in here. Into the cogs as well. Force Staff still available for 5 up. Looks like he'll be okay. We're going to turn the cask around now. But here comes the roll from Zai onto 2 heroes with that fissure, using it to his advantage. And going to take out the Witch Doctor with ease and likely the Luna as well. Now the jump in from Dendi back into his base. The jump in from Dendi back into his base. He goes. But what I was going to say is, if the Batrider ended up being a support, then it wouldn't feel as bad playing as this Abaddon, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're countered by a position 1 Abaddon as a position 4 or 5 Bat, then whatever at that point. And we've seen that before. Jump in from Dendi, this time outside of his base. But
that's the pipe
not a whole lot of
activated.
damage done right now. Ooh, that Soul Assumption took him to half HP. He's going to pop his Essence Ring.
Man, they have so much magic resistance on Secret. They have Pipe on Visage. They have Hood on Clockwork. They have Glimmer on Enchantress. They just look at this bait lineup and they see, okay, you guys are like 80% magic damage. And here's the 20-minute push, right? Like, can you kill us? It doesn't look like they can very easily, at least. They're going to heal up with Visage.
They have a lot of damage mitigation as well.
Right, here's a smoke. They're going to try something.
Oh, they get broken right away. There's a hookshot from Yapso, but it's on to Dendi. Can they keep him in place with the Soul Assumption? Absolutely. Deathward to follow, but it's very brief. Dendi does have buyback. Will probably expend it here. Nice fissure. Actually blocks them inside the base, but I mean, Matu is just so giant right now. Very difficult to deal with. This Radiance and Hyperstone working towards his AC right now. Zai with the Vlads. There's the Echo Slam after the Force Staff. We'll see if it'd be enough with the buyback from Dendi, but the Luna evaporates before he even buys back, and Dendi diebacks immediately, and that should do it for game 1.
He jumped in and got hit by a Pango roll as he connected. Zai was basically on top of him. Another hook shot. Yeah. I mean, this is just, it's an outclass, right? I like the strategy of Secret. I like the way that they picked it in the order that they did, and then they're just executing, right? It's no big surprise that this game ends here. Tough game for Bait. They are underdogs, you know it going in, and now unfortunately they needed to win the Series 2-0, so we'll see what they do in the next game. But like, in comparison, we had this series that we cast yesterday where we had Secret against Viking GG, where Secret was really tested. It seems to be like a clear tier difference here between Bait and Viking based on what we saw there.
Agreed.
Also difference in the placement in brackets.
I will say this, syndereN. I know it's just one game, but the games that we cast of Bait when they had the previous lineup were legitimately some of the worst Dota I've ever seen. Like, it wasn't even remotely close to this. Is infinitely better than what we saw.
It is. It's definitely better.
Still on a different tier from Secret, but that's Secret. Like, pretty much everybody's on a different tier at this stage. But we'll see what they can do for game 2. But yeah, overall, just weren't able to withstand the 5-man from Secret. I'm just fascinated by the picks. Like, the way that Secret picks every game. It's very, very cool to see. But yeah, that is game 1 of this best of 3. We shall return with game 2 shortly.